gonna talk about Yogic's perspective on Ahar, Vihar, Achar Vichar, that is AVAV. So every human being we know that is different, and therefore it is necessary for us to find our own ways to live a healthy life. Following the healthy yogic life, we can restore the homeostasis and tranquility of our life. And there are four basic pillars in following this yogic life, which are called AVAV, Ahar, Vihar, Achar, Vichar. They can proactively help us living a good physical, mental, and spiritual life. So, what is Ahar, Vihar, Achar, Vichar? So, Ahar, as we all know, stands for the food that we consume. If we talk about Ahar in broad perspective, it is just not the food, but whatever we consume through our senses can be included in Ahar. Vihara is a rest, recreation, and sleep for wellness. Achar is our routine, the patterns we follow, which help us in improve our lifestyle. And last one is Vichar, which is a very important part of yogic lifestyle, which stands for positive thought pattern, our goals in life, our school of thoughts, our beliefs and values, our belief in higher reality, and all that. And if we take care of all these basic four pillars equally, we will be able to lead a happy, fulfilled life. And any imbalance in any of these will cause dis-ease. That is, we will not be at ease and there will be suffering. So let's start with the first pillar, that is Ahar. And this section is not intended to cover all the aspects of food, but I'm going to touch very briefly on what yoga says about food and its window into the spiritual dimension. So yoga looks at food not only as a source of nutrition, but also its effect on our mind. So we always say that jaisa an vaisa man. We are what we eat. So it is very important paying attention on our ahar, that is what we consume. Sorry. Okay. A well-balanced, nutritious, and wholesome food is essential for our well-being. So, according to yoga and Ayurveda, which has the concepts which go hand in hand, the food is divided into three parts. That is sattvic food, rajasic food, and tamasic food. Uh, I'm so sorry for this. So let's start with the Sattvic Ahar. What is the Sattvic Ahar? Sattvic Ahar is any diet which brings calm and balance in your body and mind. What are these Sattvic Ahars? So anything which is freshly prepared, fresh food which is vegetarian, which is consumed in moderation at regular timings with a calm mind and which is chewed well is called a Sattvic Ahar. Examples of Sattvic Ahar, as I said, all the seasonal fresh fruits and vegetables, all the milk products which are cruelty free, which includes ghee, buttermilk, yogurt, cottage cheese, etc., all the dried fruits, seeds, all the spices, fats, all these are included in Sattvic Ahar. Why eating sattvic ahar is important is, as we talked just now, that all these foods have a very deep effect on our mental state. So you will realize that when you are eating sattvic ahar, you will be more at calm, your stomach will be at calm, and you will have a lot of mental clarity. So it is very essential to have this sattvic food on regular basis. Next is the rajasic ahar. Rajasic Ahar is a diet which leads to agitation, which brings out high energy, aggression, anger, and it is high in calories. What are the examples of Rajasic food? Most of the beans, hard pulses, which are not sprouted, hot spices, garam masalas, onions, garlic, all basically what is all included in Indian food is Rajasic food. Rajasic food should always be taken in moderation during the daytime. There is one more thing that for certain conditions, Rajasic food is recommended, and for us also, at certain intervals, we should consume Rajasic food in moderation. Then comes the Tamasic Ahar. Tamasic Ahar is a diet which leads to dullness, lethargy, sloth, unmotivated state of mind, depressive feelings, etc. All the packaged food, trans fats, vegetable shortening migrants, all purpose flour, white sugar, white rice, alcohol, cheese, seafood, meat, tea, all these are included in tamasic food. So this should be avoided at all times. How much to eat? So there is a thing in yoga, there is a concept in yoga which doesn't accept fasting, that is nirahara. It also is not in favor of ekahara, that is eating once a day, but it promotes mitahara, that is eating in moderation at regular intervals. Dividing meals in four portions is suggested, which is like filling two portions with the solid food, one with the liquid, and we should leave one section free. But but in yoga philosophy, in yoga therapy, we customize this according to the doshas and pravrittis and vrittis of the person. So you can divide it into uh, two meals or five meals, or as per your requirements of lifestyles. So two section, when I say that there are two sections which has to be filled with solid food, it includes all the raw foods, well cooked sattvic food. When I talk about liquid, there has to be a dal, soups, buttermilk, etc. And one section has to be remain empty. So ideally, four meals are recommended. If someone wants to eat in between the foods, they can consume coconut water, lemon water, and other light drinks if they are available. So as I said, four meals per day. We should consume high calorie dense food during the first half of the day because that time our metabolic rate is highest. And as we know that dinner should be the lightest meal and it has to be consumed after, it has to be consumed 3 hours before sleeping. And after having dinner, we should also include Shatapavli or any light movement stretches so that our food is digested before we go to the bed. Next comes Vihar. Vihar is a very important part of holistic life, which is rest, recreation, and sleep. We all know that poor sleep, no me time, no relaxing time can bring a lot of fatigue, lethargy, lack of motivation, moodiness, irritability. It reduces our creativity, it reduces our problem solving skills. We are unable to cope up with stress and other problems. It hampers our immunity and all those things. So, sleep is very important, and it also puts us into the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and other serious health problems. Health we give a, hence that's why we give a very much important to vihara, that is good rest, recreation, and sleep. So usually for a normal individual, 6 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep is recommended, and we should follow our circadian rhythm, that is sleeping early, waking up early, and it has to be the same time so that we maintain a balance. Relaxation, we have to have some kind of relaxation throughout the day other than sleep. It will rejuvenate you physically and mentally. There are so many techniques to relax throughout the day, like Shavasana, Makrasana, Dharasana, Nishpanda Bhava. So Nishpanda Bhava is specially taught in Yoga Institute, which is like replacing our negative thoughts with the positive thoughts and letting the body calm down for certain amount of time. It is also evident that 20 minutes of Shavasana is as good as 8 hours of sleep. So we must incorporate all these relaxation techniques in our routine. Last is recreation, which comes under Vihar. Recreation is immersing in hobbies, being active instead of passive, connecting to our inner self, recharging the mind, and channelizing negative emotions. So many times we mistake recreation for scrolling on the phone, watching TV, or involving in gossiping and partying. But all these things are draining our energy and making us tired. So yoga suggests recreation, which is in where you will connect with your inner self, and instead of passive engagement you will have the active engagement. So walking is a very good technique to relax and recreate. Following your hobbies like singing, playing instrument, painting, or gardening, where you are actively involved, are also recommended for Bihar. Going on to the next section, that is Achar. Again, very important aspect of these four pillars. So basically, when we were taking the therapy course, very small part was spent on Ahar, because as a human being, we all know that, what to eat, how to eat, if we are aware about ourselves. Most of the importance is given to these three factors, which is Achar, Vichar, and Vihar. So let's talk about Achar, routine and discipline, and why it is important and how it will help us having a fulfilled and healthy life. I'm sorry. Achar. So, the solution for many of our life problems is having a right habit and a right routine. We should emphasize taking care of our own self and doing our daily activities at certain times with the certain patterns. And that's what we call as now in new terms self-love. So, because if we can take good care of ourselves, then only we can take good care of others and can fulfill our duties. Swadharma, taking care of ourselves, is very important in yoga. And then comes family, work, friends, etc. Setting the right habit and routine for good physical, mental, moral, and spiritual health is emphasized. Uh, there is this concept in yoga which is cleanliness, saucha, kriyas, swadhyay, which should be incorporated in our daily practice, not for a long time, but of course for a certain amount of time, which is going to have a good impact on our patterns by which we lead the life. Next is, I forgot to talk about a very important terminology which we always use in yoga under Achar, which is called Dinacharya. So, following a certain pattern every single day, day out and day in, is very important. That will give a certain pattern to your body and your nervous system, and that will calm down your nervous system and will also help in reducing the blood pressure and if you have any other ailments. So following the dinacharya is extremely important when we look at this from yogic perspective. Next comes vichara, the way we think. Ahar, Ahar, time for Vihar, and which is followed by good achara is extremely important. But the most important factor, the most important pillar in our holistic health is Vichar, the way our thinking impacts our brain, our body every minute. So, mana eva manushanam karanam bandha mokshaye. The human mind is responsible for all the pain and suffering or freedom from the pain. There are so many klishta vrittis in us, which are the painful thoughts, and these painful thoughts are governed by five kleshas. These five kleshas is avidya, that is lack of knowledge, we can call asmita, which is ego, good ego, or whatever we can call it, raga, which is anger, dvesha is hatred, and abhinivesh. We can talk about this in detail for hours and hours, but I'm not going to touch this aspect. But when we fix our vichars, when we spend time in swadhyay, in satsang, and doing all these spiritual things, we slowly start changing vichara, and it is evident in holistic health and in the yoga institute that if we work on vichar, we are able to cure so many ailments from our lives and lead a very peaceful and happy life. So, what we can do to have this vichara aspect worked in our lifestyle? So having faith in higher reality is very important. Whatever it is, you may have faith in universe, the laws of universe, and how everything works, or any kind of God, or anything you want to follow. But developing faith as per yoga is very important. You can indulge into japa, which is a bhakti yoga, or other forms of bhakti yoga. It also has so many positive impacts on our vichars. Practicing other yogic concepts like gratitude journal, pratipaksha bhavna, and so many, there are so many other techniques we can cultivate to have a positive and balanced thought process, which will help us changing the vicharas. And I think that is all about Achar, Ahar, Vihar, Achar, Vichar from me. So if you have any questions right now, we can talk about it starting from Ahar.
Thank you so much, Kavita ji, and there is a lot to digest here, and so many key terms that you have introduced or shared today, because certain things may seem simple when we talk of our Ahar or diet. Sattvic, we know it is ideally what is needed. However, we end up having some Rajasic and some Tamasic. But I guess the point of moderation is the key here. That means keep reducing
Mitaha.
and keep it to the minimum. And also, sometimes people confuse that, okay, should I eat only once or more? So you have covered that as well.
So
That
one thing to remember here, Gaurav is all this plan, all this introduction is for a healthy person, if you have any ailment or any disease, mental or physical, then as per the yoga therapy, we change all this. So even though Nirahar and Ekahar is not recommended as per yoga, but with certain conditions, we can definitely have Ekahara and fasting incorporated in our daily life.
Right. Yeah. Same is when we talk about Nishpanda Bhava under Vihara, it's a very important thing to learn for everyone because letting go is really a big, you can say, if you can, then that's a very big plus. That means we can really resolve things or avoid issues in the life And of course, if they come, we can resolve as easily. Gratitude. Swadhyaya is another one. And what we are doing today is also in the sense of, improving the wisdom, but what you study yourself is really the key. And like may come to a self means knowing yourself, right? And studying yourself. Both are important.
Yeah, that's why we always give importance in spiritual. If I talk about the spiritual world, we always talk about Swadharma, Swadhyay, and Satsang. These three pillars are so important in keeping focused and going into the right direction, because that's what going to help us everything else, which is Ahar, Vihar, and Vichar. Sorry, Ahar, Vihar, and Achar. If we work on Vichar, and how we are going to work on Vichar is by following the Swadharma, Swadhyay, and Satsang.
And such simple things. See, these are the things that is so simple. They are not technically anything that you may need to really work hard. Only thing is to work on it and to do it. And that's one thing, satsang. And at least this year, I encourage each one of you to, plan whatever is your field or topic of interest that you have been working on, then yes, taking a session, spread your wisdom, which really benefits everyone, society, community in general. And the ego part, Asmita, which means ego, that is another thing that we all should be concerned working or improving because we all have ego. If you are human, you have to have ego. But the point, what you just mentioned here is again, keep it in mind and keep it check, keep it in balance. I guess that's the point.
Yeah, you're right, Garoji. I mean, even though these things look very simple, but simple things are hard to follow, following same dinacharya and keeping all these uh, pillars incorporated in our life is difficult, where in the world we are living with the lifestyles we are following, with our work schedules, with everything, it is very difficult. So that's why following simple things, it's a big challenge for us. And if we only know the basics, if we only do the basics every day, most of our problems will be solved. So if we go back a little bit in our grandparents generation, they all were doing the same thing, right? They were following the dincharya, they were doing the same thing. Their lifestyle was simple. They used to eat the right food at right time in right quantity. They had their social involvement, engagement. They had a good set of right mindset to live a healthy life. So this is not new to us. This was there in our in Indian philosophy. It's just that we have to relearn it again.
Yes, absolutely right. We had this, but in the name of, you know, modernization, in the name of scientific discoveries and whatnot, our lifestyle has totally switched to the other direction, the wrong direction, and now we are going back to the basic. Absolutely. So one question to you, Kavita ji, in your experience, which one of this is most common in today's world, in today's society? Like which element is where people struggle the most?
Which are,
Which are?
it's definitely which are. If you have a right thought process, you will develop a awareness, right? And that awareness will reflect in all other aspects of your life. If you are conscious and aware what I am eating, how much I am eating, it's not a rocket science. Even an animal knows how to eat, what to eat. If I give Pepsi to my dog, he's not going to drink that. He knows. We also know that. Just that we are cultivating these unhealthy habits is because we are so much cluttered in our thoughts and we are not aware of that. So, just getting clear in your thoughts, having a strong foundation there is gonna take care of all the other aspects. So, and even in Yoga Institute, as I said, when we were taking the training, very small part was given to Ahar. There is so much of knowledge on internet. There is so much of information. We all know what to eat, and we know that we are eating in excess. We all know that we are not eating the right food. But that's not important. What is important is Vichar. I mean, where we are heading with all these changes around us is a big concern right now, and especially with the young population.
Excellent. Now, one more thing comes to my mind. If Vichar is in your experience or in your opinion is the number one, what, of course, we say meditation, yoga, pranayam, those are given. But other than that, is there anything simple that you may have come across which works the best or simplest to work on Vichar that anybody can use? Technique or
Satsang,
tip?
satsang.
Hmm.
Staying in right company is extremely important, because as a human beings, we like to indulge into distractions. Uh, you need to have people around you who will again and again redirect you towards the right path. So satsang, I feel, is the most important part. For me, satsang works better for somebody with a different temperament. Swadhyay would work, I guess. But these three pillars, these three things, swadharma, satsang, and swadhyay, are very important in having the right vichar.
Excellent. And this is something so simple, which is in your hand. The satsang is nothing that someone can say, hey, it's very difficult, correct?
Yeah.
Mm. We may not be able to choose uh, our relatives, parents and siblings and all those things, but certainly the company, we have full freedom to choose. Then, I mean, no one can say, hey, it's been given to me. No, that's for you to kind of exercise your right, who to
Yeah,
be with.
that's correct. Yeah.
Super. Masters, I leave it for others to, either ask if you have a question or if you want to share something that you have experienced regarding to what we just went through with Kavita ji today. Please feel free to contribute.
We are still stuck in the Pepsi, that capsule, So we have to come out of that, And even the Vichar thing, right? With so much things all around us, anything that we hear or we see, our mind says maybe this is that is true. Even if it is not true, it goes and embeds in the mind. So disconnecting that is very difficult.
Yeah, that is a challenge, and that challenge goes across all generations.
And as I said, ahar is just not consuming the food. It is what you are consuming with your five senses,
Yeah,
right? So whatever you are seeing, hearing, and I feel that even though it is difficult, it's not impossible. You just have to make your mind uh, to change, bring a change.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
And once you go to that state where you experience the awareness and peace, uh, you will keep coming back to it. You just have to, try and start working on it.
Before we go to Grace G, I mean, if I may just say what, because what you just said and what Mana was saying. So, what it sounds to me like is if we can make, whether we say meditation, dhyan, whatever sadhana, if we can make it like Pepsi, if we get the same kind of kick as Pepsi gives us, then, the switch will be easy. And that's the whole fight is all about.
Yeah, taste
So,
buds.
so
Yeah.
what I tell I mean, whoever I'm working with, I always urge them, try it, for 15 days, for a month, just try it, get that kick, and then you will decide, which kick works better for you. But in my experience, Garoji, whoever, comes to this path, who starts working on themselves on the simple basic things, they will know they never go back. It is irreversible because then they realize the importance and benefits of basic things.
True.
See, we are not yogis, we are not going to go to Himalaya and, meditate for 10 hours. We are householders, and that is the concept on which the Yoga Institute works. Keeping in mind that we are busy people, we don't have time to do all this for hours and hours. But small, small practices we can incorporate and change the things in our lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And that's why it is called householders yoga.
Wonderful. Grace ji, yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, very nice session, Kavita ji. Thank you so much. And it's a kind of reminder, like, and it's a new year that, reset your habits and, try to at least eat healthy, think healthy, and, So for me personally, it's sometimes, it's a stress eating too, emotional eating too is involved. So I guess in that case, the meditation and everything else, or, professional help will taking professional help will help also. And then these eating habits comes after that. So for me personally, like, I know I'm aware of, like, quite a few things that you mentioned here, but it's a reminder from you, which is great. So, like, I do my habits, like, for a couple of days or 3 days, like, I'm gonna eat, and I try, I like cooking, so I try new soups, new salads and everything. But, like, after 2 or 3 days, like, as Gaurav ji was saying, the taste buds, you know, and then they just kick in, and I say, okay, you know what, let me just do eat something unhealthy now. And once I do that, and then I regret, like, why did I do that? Because I was going on right path. So to avoid that, I don't know, maybe I'm not overthinker or anything of that sort, but to avoid that, maybe we have to push ourselves without analyzing it, like, it's good or bad, just when we decide something, and we just push ourselves to do it, and then it becomes our habit. So what would you suggest in that case?
Okay, nice question, Grace ji. I want to get this term, yogic term, to you, which is called niyamagraha. Too much of obsession to following the routine and discipline, which always works against us. So if you are indulging once in a while, into some kind of rajasic food, or you are breaking habits, which is absolutely fine. You don't need to feel guilty about it. We have busy lives. We are running since morning till evening, and it gets tougher. So one basic thing we can do is like stop, feeling guilty, because if you eat and then feel guilty, that food is gonna work against you. So it's okay, sometimes to break these habits and not stick to niyamagraha too much. What works for me is, again, you were talking about pushing yourself. This has to come so organically and effortlessly, because anything where you have to put a lot of efforts and it's making your life hell is not going to work. We need to have a sustainable lifestyle. So what works for me is preparing. I am always prepared. I have my meals prepared. I know it is against the Ayurvedic and yogic rule, which says that, oh, always eat fresh food, which is not possible in this part of the world. You will not have access to fresh food every day. So prepare your meal, plan your meal, have the groceries, have the salad ready, have the boiled vegetables ready, have your protein portions. That way, when you are hungry, at least you are not, if you are not eating fresh, you are eating the right food, and that will be less effort, right? If I have to make three fresh foods, I will spend hours and hours in the kitchen, and that's not going to work for me, definitely. So we can modify, when you come to me or you go to any yoga therapist, they are going to find customized plan for you, what works best for you, because it is impossible to follow all these things. So making adjustment and making it workable for you is a very much possible thing, and we should do that.
Yeah, and but that's another thing with me, that I don't like eating food. Like, if I cook it, and I like to cook fresh and eat fresh. That's another issue with me. If I
Then that
eat,
is the niyamagraha, Grace ji. You have to break your niyam graha. There are so many people, who say that, oh, if I don't drink tea in the morning, I'm gonna have a headache for the entire day. If I don't drink warm water, I will not have a good bathroom round. Same, if I don't eat fresh, I will not be happy. But then, that's how you are going to end up into indulging into bad habits. So instead of doing that, if we can modify our life little bit, that's always going to work for us.
Yeah, because when I cook like in the morning, I can up to that, like maybe in the evening I can eat the same thing. But the next day I start thinking, oh, that's not a sattvic food. And within 2 hours I like to eat, but it's already 24 hours. So it's hard for me to eat that food at that time.
So you
So maybe
have to
that's again.
choose if you have to eat outside food or you have to eat food which is homemade, but just you made it the previous day.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think I need to, yeah. But yeah,
It's
because
tough. It's
because
not easy, Grace. I can understand. It's tough.
yeah, and as you said, yeah, it's okay to like cheat sometimes, but my issue is I cheat right away, like after 2 days or 3 days. I don't cheat like once in a month, and
See,
then
that's
yeah, but
why I always insist on having food ready, when
okay.
you are coming back from office and you're hungry, definitely you are going to reach out to something which is easily accessible but having that ready is an advantage, you are not going to indulge into something which is not good for you and then feel the guilty.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Hmm.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Neena ji, please unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Thank you, Kavita ji and Gaurav ji, for this session. It's a wonderful topic for New Year resolution, one of the like eat healthy, right? But yeah, same issue I'm also facing like Grace ji, like few days I will eat very healthy and then go back to my old like stuff, like binge eating sometimes. So any topic, any tips on binge eating?
Okay. Uh, just now, I mean, whatever I was telling Grace ji is same thing will go to you. Uh, being prepared in advance for the next day, is the only
Mhm.
thing we can do right now. I mean, I believe you are in Canada, right? You are not in India.
I'm in New Jersey. Yeah.
You are in New Jersey. Wonderful.
Yes.
So, I mean, we have to understand that we don't have luxuries of, health
Yeah.
and everything. So whatever works for us, we should choose that. And, as we always said, that holistic health is just not eating right. It is having a right physical, mental, and spiritual health. So if I want to cook 4 meals and I am tiring myself and I don't have time for my family, for my kids, I'm always irritable. That's not a good thing for us, right? So instead, if you have something ready for you, uh, and you are eating that, you will save yourself from a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So my advice for binge eating is you should always have something, handy for you. It can be anything as simple as Greek yogurt and blueberries or a protein bar, I mean, yes, so many people say that protein bar is not good, but instead of eating a packet of chips, it's always better to have a protein bar, right?
That's true. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Uh, can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, that reminds me. Sometimes what happens, like I make a soup and I would put the rest of the soup in the fridge. And when I come home after work and I know that I have the soup that I can have, but because I'm craving for something else, I'm craving for some like, some spicy food or something, then I would rather cook that and not eat my soup. So it's like craving, like how to control your craving too. That's another thing for me.
So we have to dig deeper here, Ganesh ji. The cravings are mainly because you're tired. First thing, you're tired. mentally and physically. And second thing, you may have many deficiencies, with our age and with the physical stress we put on ourselves, we are deficient in so many things. So if we really start working on eating right food, taking right supplements, these, and having a proper rest and time for recreation, all these cravings will slowly go away, and you will see the difference within 1 month.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
There is
Thank you.
one more thing I can suggest here is for both Grace ji and like what we were talking about Nina ji's question. Uh, Practically, it's kind of similar to breaking your habit. The situation or what we are talking, right? Okay, it's my habit that when I come, I have to have some snack or some whether spicy, whatever that may be. Everybody may have different, but it's my habit, it's my pattern that this happens, then that will happen. So that means ultimately, uh, everybody, if we summarize, it's like breaking your habit.
Mm-hmm.
So another question is not just, okay, whether spice or X or Y, it's just how to break the habit. So one thing which I've found very useful personally, because obviously like anyone else, I've gone through the same as well. What have worked for me is, for example, if you work, like we were talking about all those things, that how satsang and all those things help. One thing is, if you have, say, a 2-week detox program, right? You join any such thing where some discipline is brought in indirectly. So if you say, okay, I'm doing 2 weeks. So what happens is we tell our brain that don't worry, you will get what you want, but only for 2 weeks, work with me. It's a temporary 2-week process. I will not eat X, Y, Z, and I'm doing this, and hence I'm breaking my habit. So the brain allows you that, okay, it's a temporary phase. I know, like a 1 day fast. The brain knows tomorrow I'll get everything. So it starts countdown 24 hours, 23, 22. It happens in subconscious mind. So similarly, when we say 2-week detox, I never thought I'll give up tea just like that. But after 2-week detox, I said, why should I have it now? It was not planned. So second item is don't plan, don't force, because when we say I have to give up tea, that's why I'm doing 2-week detox. Now it's an expectation. Expectation creates a problem because then it is a reverse energy, negative energy. So go without expectation, do something, have a kind of logic in mind that, okay, I'm doing this for this, do it. In 2 weeks, a lot of things will happen. And then if you can continue, like we say, mandala, right? If you can take it to 40 days, if not 40, at least 21, a lot of benefits will come that way.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
I agree
Thank
with
you.
Carol, sir. Yeah, any such
Yeah.
program will reset, uh, things for you.
Okay. That's very nice.
And
Yeah. But
slowest is the fastest speed. They say that when you have to change something. So instead of putting pressure, as Gaurav sir said, that, I have to change it right away, just take smaller steps. I mean, I tell my friends and everybody again and again that don't commit that, you are going to wake up one day and start working out 45 minutes, 1 hour. Start 5 minutes, start 10 minutes, change just one meal, change just one snack at a day. It may take weeks and months depending on your condition, but taking baby steps will always help in long run.
okay, okay, awesome. Thank you.
Welcome. I think we can squeeze this. Kavita ji, there is a message in the chat from Ravi ji, or question rather, I should say. Do you want to comment on that, Kavita ji?
Yeah. So yes, Ravi ji. Ravi ji is my friend from India, Gaurav ji, if you remember.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Uh, So definitely, Ravi, as I said, Vichar is a very important part in all these, 4 pillars of yogic life. So inner transformation is the best thing, to change outer circumstances, I believe. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't know about Ravi ji.
Yes, yes. Thanks.
So our habits, all the circumstances that we are attracting into life are nothing but the reflection of our internal environment.
Exactly. And
Right.
like we always say, we only can change ourselves. We cannot change anyone else. So I guess same logic goes here that everything is just internal, which will change your external world rather than most commonly when people are always trying to change others and they don't change and others obviously you cannot change, so nobody change. So, and yoga is a very good tool to go inward, make changes, and as you have gone through the whole Ahar, Vihara, Achara, and Vichar, I guess these four pillars, if we can improve step by step, we can make a huge shift in our energy, in balancing the energy, in our consciousness, and whichever way we take it, it's all energy. It's a game of energy, and that's what we say mind game, but actually, it's all inside us, not external. So, since we do not have any other questions pending, so I thank you very much, Kavita ji, for taking this session today. And thanks all the masters who joined us. Yes, it is time now, so I will meet in the next Sunday session. Of course, we'll have our Tuesday, Thursday, the meditation one. Have a good rest of the day, and thanks again, Kavita ji.
Thank you
Namaskar.
very much, Karoji, and thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.